Hey everyone, before we get started, we got a new toy in our scout shop here at the office. It's a crystal radio, so if anybody has ever been interested in learning how radios work, we have a soldering free, no batteries required radio. You build it yourself and you can mess around with antennas. So come get it while supplies last. It's only $8. Hey everybody, it's Mr. Bear back with another great video. Today we're going to be talking about hiking. So, let's discuss. What are the essentials to go hiking? Alright, so Miss Hedgehog, what is the first item we should think about when we go hiking?
I don't know. There's a lot of different things that you want to bring with you.
Like a hat.
Yeah, like a hat. So why would we want to bring a hat, you guys? Well, to keep the sun out of our eyes and to keep our head safe from the sun, because even though most people think they can't get sunburned with their head or their hair being on their head, that ain't true. It will go straight through. I have had many scalp burns. You do not want them. They're painful. They're hard to get rid of. Terrible. So always think about head protection.
So, Miss Hedgehog.
Yes,
It's hot out here.
it is. Not as bad as before.
Yeah, I'm kind of thirsty.
Well, we are in a building. There's
Yeah.
tons of water fountains. Are you talking about when we go hiking?
Yep.
Oh, well, what do you think we should do about that?
I'm gonna say pack some water.
That's a good idea. Man, this stuff just randomly keeps appearing at me, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna get hurt through this whole thing, aren't I?
maybe. Blame the director.
Well, what happens? This is empty. You gave me an empty water bottle.
Well, see, the thing is, we're gonna have to fill it up.
Mr. Bear, are we gonna go next? You can't just keep eating all the food there. Okay. Right. Well, while Mr. Bear is, I guess, eating all of our snack, that we're not gonna be able to take on our hike now, because he's deciding to eat it now. We're gonna talk about the most important thing to put in your actual bag. And that is, of course, I know you guys can't tell from this because this is actually just, we made this one, but we have a first aid kit. Now, we did do a first aid lesson before. You know that I sat here and I yammered on about everything that's in our cool little backpack that we had. But this is a more simple one. This is a smaller one. It's really lightweight. You want to take this for every other reason of just in case you get hurt, just in case you do get lost. And you'll have some resources here. There are Band-Aids, tape, like masking tape to kind of like put on your the gauze and stuff like that. And then there's just a few other supplies in here like cotton balls and like the sucker that we talked about. So all the main essentials that we think we're gonna need, we put in here. So that way, if anybody gets hurt or if we get lost or something like that, or we get a cut or anything like that, we will definitely be able to go ahead and use this first aid kit. So, very, very important as much as the water is.
Water.
You're magic. There was no water in there before. Now there's water.
Yeah, so if we go hiking, I think the best idea is to take nice cold water.
I agree. You do need to hydrate. You can't live without water.
Yep. Although I do love my Coke Zero.
I love my Dr. Pepper. But sugary drinks are not good. They're syrupy, they're sugary. Even fake sugar is still sugar in some way. So it's not going to hydrate you. It's actually going to dehydrate you. And it's going to make you thirstier and thirstier and thirstier and everything like that. So that's why we always say bring water. Because it is literally going to keep you hydrated and it's going to keep your energy up.
Yeah. And also make sure that if you're drinking water, you're staying hydrated up in the mountains, but don't drink too much because then you have to go use the bathroom. And that is essentially your body getting rid of liquids you might need later on.
The key rule is drink when you're thirsty. Don't drink when you're not thirsty, because your body has a natural sense of when it needs water, and that's why it tells you it's thirsty.
Sweet. What's next?
I don't know.
Ooh, the good stuff. Pass
Okay.
that.
Why? Okay. Oh, well, this is not good for vegetarians, but a good old-fashioned snack. Why do we want to bring a snack?
Because we get hungry.
When
And
you're a
I
bear.
get angry when I'm hungry.
I don't think this is enough for a bear, though. I know it's bigger than you, but I don't think it's enough food for
It's
you.
a small smackerel.
Oh my god. Well, you know, bears love to eat. That's what they tend to do. But for us, it's to keep our energy up. Now, we did grab beef jerky, but anything like a Nutri-Grain bar or something like, okay, see, look at that. Nature's Valley. This is a sweet and salty nut cashew. These are all, oh my gosh, it's raining. Nope, this one is just the same thing. I think it's probably all the same. Okay. So I'm just gonna have stuff fly at me all day long. This is how this is gonna go today. So have you ever just felt like you're in an episode of Star Trek and you have tribbles flying at you? You're not gonna get that, but maybe your parents will. So, anyways, the reason why beef jerky is good is because it has tons of protein in it. There are other things that you can get protein in, like nuts, which is why we have these as well. So you can get something to fit you even if you don't eat meat. There are other things that you can have that are just high in protein and have a lot of energy in them. Just try not to go for really sugary snacks. So don't bring Cheetos, don't bring pizza, don't bring anything like that, because it is literally not going to help you at all. You want to keep your energy up, because if you're hiking, you might feel fine going up, but then when you come back down, you might have a crash. So you definitely want to bring, as you can see, plenty of snackage. Especially if you have a hungry bear over here who will literally eat all this and be like, well, I'm still hungry. Where's the Burger King? So just make sure you pack snacks as enough for what you need, not too much, because you don't want to overstock and then get your backpack too heavy, because then, well, you're just going to have more weight, you're going to need more water, there's just going to be a lot more trouble. So try to keep it as light as possible. But just try to get a snack that is pretty high in protein, has a lot of nutrients in it, maybe some vitamins. If you're planning on going out for a longer trip and you need a whole lunch, bring a simple lunch, like a sandwich or something like that. Don't go, like I said, bringing pizza or a cheeseburger or something. I know you like that, Bear, but no, you can't bring a cheeseburger with you on a hike.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. It's gonna get all greasy and gross in your backpack. You just don't want that. And also, it does attract you. So if you bring something like that, you never know what kind of wildlife is gonna be attracted to that. So I would say safely, just try to bring a little bit of snack. If you're gonna stay all day, bring a little bit of lunch. Simple though. Oranges are good too, and fruits and stuff.
Oh, I don't feel so good.
I wonder why. You ate a whole bag of beef jerky. That's twice your size. This is why you don't overeat, kids. You end up like Mr. Bear.
Anyway.
What are we going to talk about next? Oh, okay, cool. A flashlight. Okay, so flashlight's pretty easy why we take it. First off, if you guys are planning the trip, which you should always plan the trip before you go, you might want to make sure that you're not going to be out at night. Most people shouldn't be going hiking at night, especially just because you can't always see everything, and a lot more wildlife comes out at night. If you're an experienced hiker, however, some of them do night hikes because it is especially challenging. But that is only for adults who are completely ready and prepared for that. But just in case, you do want to bring a flashlight, because if you do by any chance get lost or anything like that, and you're out during the night, maybe it took a little bit longer than you expected, you can actually use this to help guide your way back to where you need to be. Use your map. And if not, you can actually use this to help signal for help. So if you are lost and you start to hear voices and someone's trying to find you, you can actually use this to signal them, you know? So flashlights come in a lot of handy once it comes to nighttime. Oh, I guess we're doing this round. I moved the table, whoopsie. Oh, it's my whistle. Okay, so this is my awesome whistle that I love with everything. It is an extremely powerful whistle. If you blow this, it will be very loud, which I can't do it because I got grown-ups in the room and they just tend not to like to whistle. So we're not gonna whistle it. But this is a whistle. As you can hear, it's got a ball that's rolling around in there. That's to help make the whistle even louder. But if you do hang it on your body, it is actually making a noise. And you do want to make noise when you hike, at least a little bit, just because a lot of the animals don't like clinging noises, metal noises, things that don't sound like nature. And this doesn't sound like nature. So it can actually help keep away the wildlife as well. This is a special whistle because on the end is a compass, which is another necessity in order to know which direction you're going. It will also come along with a map, which we'll talk about. Also, in this one, it has a little compartment. It's a watertight compartment. You could put matches or something in there that will help with survival as well. I used to put some flint and some matches in there for just in case I was out and I couldn't come back or whatever and it's really cold. You'll need to make sure that you have a way to get warm, and if that is to start a fire, be very careful. I'm not saying go out and start fires, guys. But if it is an emergency situation and that is something that you need, then that is something that you'll want to pack as well. You can put other stuff in here too. You could put some first aid stuff in here, like band-aids and things, so that comes in handy. Another thing it comes with is a mirror on the inside. Now what that will be used for is, first of all, if you have enough heat, you can actually use it to start the fire if you do bring all that stuff and you don't have matches. Once again, try not to do that unless it's absolutely necessary. But it also helps signal. So if I'm stuck in the wilderness and they have all 9 yards searching for me, say they have a helicopter or something like that in the air, if I guide the light just right, it will shine the light and it will reflect, so that way they can actually see it and they'll actually be able to find me. You can do this on the ground as well, but it does work the best for things that are in the air, so like helicopters, airplanes, and stuff like that. So this comes in handy because it's 3 tools, or technically 4 tools in one. Also, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I didn't point it out, but there's a whistle on the first aid kit too. This is a whistle. I know it doesn't look like one, but it is one. So we got tons of whistles going on around here.
All right, so I'm feeling a bit better, so I'm gonna have a little snack.
You are a terrible example for children.
Yeah.
Not that I'm any better.
Oh well. Anyway, maps.
Maps. Oh, incredibly important.
Who's the map? I'm the map. No, wait, that's not how the song went. But the point is,
Let's not get sued by Disney or Nickelodeon.
we need a map. Where? To wherever we're going.
So, in this case, this is going to be a little bit more information. So, before I show you the map, number 1 rule of camping and hiking and pretty much everything is know before you go. This means that you want to do research of the place that you're going to before you go. Why would you do that? For a lot of good reasons. First off, you want to make sure that you know which trails you're allowed to take and which ones you're not allowed to take. So especially right now, I don't know if you guys know, but there are a whole bunch of rules about what you can and can't do due to COVID-19. If you guys watch this after COVID-19, well, still, you got to check the trails because sometimes of the year, they are not open. And so you don't want to think that you can go to a trail and then find out that it's closed, and then either A, you cancel your whole hiking trip, or maybe you're like, oh, I'll just try this one. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then you find out that it's 10 miles longer than what you originally thought, and then you can't do that and you end up getting lost. So you really just want to know exactly where you're going, what the regulations are, and also what kind of animals, plant life, things that you're going to be finding there. Because if you're in an area that says, let's say that has poison ivy, you might want to know that, so that way you keep an eye out for it, so that way you don't get hurt and you don't end up getting a rash or anything like that. Along with the animals, you might want to make sure that where you're going, if there are things like bears or mountain lions or anything like that around, you might want to know that because you might want to prepare for what you're going to be facing, like along with the map. So a lot of the national parks have a website, even parks just generally have websites and things, and they have maps online. And that's cool if you want to look up a map. I know that everybody nowadays tends to have phones, and they really want to take their phones on the hiking trip to take pictures or whatever, and that's okay. But just remember, you cannot rely on your phone. If you take a screenshot of the map and you keep it, yeah, that might mean that you don't have to have internet access to see the map. The only problem is what if you're out too late, you take too many pictures or whatever. It could even be that your phone's not water resistant and it ended up in a lake or a pond or a river, whatever the case may be. Your phone is not the most reliable. The last part is it might actually just lose power. So what do we do in that case? The old-fashioned way. Actually have a map. Now, I don't know, you guys, does this look great? Does this look like it's a fun thing to do? Because I know it's so barbaric, you're not used to this. But for sake, let's try it. Let's see. Oh, look. Nope, you can't plug it in.
Did you try turning it on and off again?
Oh. I'm pretty sure that there's not an on and off button. But yeah, can't plug it in. It doesn't take any batteries. Isn't that amazing? Like nowadays, everything takes power. Nope, you don't need to charge this. You just take it with you. Even if you find one online and you just print it out on a printer, so that way you have a piece of paper. This one is laminated, so as you can see, we use this for examples, but it's not the best map. As you can see, this is a wind map. It's not a trail map, so this will not tell me how to get around the area. It'll just tell me the wind patterns and kind of how the Great Sand Dunes were created, if that's what you're interested in. But beside the point, a map kind of looks like this. These lines right here might be trails that you can go around. And notice that this is for the Great Sand Dunes. So I can't take this to Rocky Mountain National Forest. It won't show me Rocky Mountain National Forest. It shows me the Great Sand Dunes. And even it's not that great at that, as you can see, it's for wind. So you definitely want to make sure that you have the right kind of map, that you know exactly what you're bringing, that you know exactly what you're facing. Otherwise, you can get into deep trouble. Okay. Well, you guys, Mr. Bear, once again, he did eat a lot. I guess the great old question is, okay, does a bear poop in the woods? Yes, they do. All right, Mr. Bear, I know you're pooping over there, but what are we going to talk about next?
I don't know.
Oh, you've been throwing stuff at me all day. Just throw something at me. Okay, cool. So looks like a green cloth, but it isn't just that. It is actually a poncho. Oh my gosh. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying to keep it straight. Okay, so it is a poncho. Basically a raincoat. It's just a fancy word for a raincoat. The only difference is that a poncho goes over you and it kind of drapes, whereas a coat is like a coat and you could slip it through your arms and stuff like that. So a rain poncho and everything is very, very vital just in case it rains, and especially here in Colorado, which that's where we're shooting all this at. So in Colorado, the weather changes crazily, especially up in the mountains. It might look like it's sunshine, but then all of a sudden the clouds will roll in, and then it will definitely rain sometimes. So you just want to be prepared. Always check the weather before you go. Like we say, know before you go, but you always want to check the weather just in case. And if you do see rain and you still want to go out, make sure you bring a raincoat. Try to check the percentage, because sometimes if it's like 30% chance of rain, you're probably more likely to go because, well, that's a less likely chance of it raining. So just check the weather. If you really don't feel comfortable or whatever with just going without a raincoat, go with a raincoat. Some raincoats are actually in smaller packages than this. This is a pretty big one. But there are ones that you can fit really, really tight and neat. And even this is really lightweight. So either way, it's not going to add too much weight to your backpack. And you just want to be as prepared as you possibly can be.
All right. Now I'm back, feeling a lot better. Let's get rolling.
Rolling. Oh, a random can. I'm sorry, you guys. Our bug spray was not sponsored today, so we could not show the awesome packaging that it came in. But this is bug spray. These are all things that are optional to take. I know that I'm really prone to getting bug bites. I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm super salty or something. I eat too much salt, guys. But I get bit constantly, and they do tend to irritate me a little bit more. And I know that some people might even be allergic to certain types of bugs and things like that. So if that is you and you feel like you are worried about bugs, bug spray is the answer.
How about this? Doesn't affect me, but...
Well, you are a bear. I don't think bears need sunblock, which that's what this is. Well, we won't show the name just in case, but this is, and I can't take the wrapper of this one off, sorry guys, but this is sunscreen, and basically you guys know what sunscreen does. It helps you from getting sunburnt. Now, some people might not want to do that because they don't get sunburn or whatever like that. Also note that sunblock doesn't protect against certain UV rays. It only protects against the UV rays that actually burn your skin. So you're still going to be getting radiation. So you want to try to be in the sun as much as you can, especially like me. I'm incredibly pale, just to be honest. So I burn like nobody's business, to the point of the SPF 30 does not solve me from getting sunburn.
Yeah. Don't you need like SPF 100?
This is SPF 100, and you don't have to get that. The most you need is like SPF 30, I think it is, the regulations. But if you are not the type of person that needs that kind of coverage, don't. SPF 100 doesn't actually protect you more or anything like that. But the only stuff that works for me personally to stop the burning is SPF 100. So it is up to you about how much SPF you need. Also, make sure to put chapstick on if that is your case. Like if you do get sunburn, don't just cover your body. Make sure that you get lip balm with SPF as well, so that way your lips are protected, and as well as, like I told you before, the hat. That will help protect your scalp from getting sunburned. Woo! Okay, so this is a multi-tool. It is not a pocket knife, it is a multi-tool. So the multi-tool will come in handy. You don't need to take it, but a lot of people do like to take them for just in case. This one, if you know, there are specific hunting ones. I think that we have a hunting one in the car, but basically, I think this might be a hunting one too. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. It comes with the pliers, and it comes with the screwdrivers. It even comes with the little like saw and things like that. So if you needed that for any reason, because say you do get lost, or say something gets stuck, like you're walking and maybe like garbage hits you and it's like stringy or whatever, and you need to cut it off or whatever. So you never know. Multi-tools come in a lot of handy, but you don't need to take one if you don't have one. It's not a big deal. Just be careful with all the other stuff. And the last one, rope. Okay, so why do we bring rope? We bring rope for many different reasons. This is purposely put in here for just in case anything happens. So it could be used for first aid. Say you sprained your ankle and you need to find some twigs and stuff and make a splint, and you don't have anything to tie that off with. Well, you'll have rope with you, so you can use that. Rope comes in it's so handy. I'm just gonna say that right now. Especially if you do get lost, especially if you do have to survive for a certain amount of time. This will come in great handy. This is like shoelace material, so like you can use your shoelaces. I recommend you don't do that if you're hiking in your shoes, because you know, you don't want to be walking around with any shoelaces. You kind of need those for support. But this does come in handy if you need to tie something off, if you need to help someone in first aid. It comes in a lot of different uses. I know that a lot of survival people always want rope on them when they go anywhere.
So, Ms. Hedgehog,
Yes.
what is the most important thing when we go hiking?
Well, the number one rule is know before you go. This is it's like a step program where you first off make sure that you know before you go. So you want to know every information of what you need to do and what you're going to do before you go. This means you need to know the weather. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what trail you're going to take and how long it's about going to take. You also need to know what you need to take, like essentials, which we're going to get into that in just a second. We'll have all the stuff that we'll need to take, as well as clothing. Clothing is very important. Most people don't think about that. There have been multiple times where people have gone hiking in the wrong shoes, the wrong outfits, and that's just because they're not actually doing any research before they go hiking. They're just, okay, well, let's just go. That's a great idea. It isn't. Because if you don't know exactly where you're going, you don't know what kind of weather you're going to get into, you don't know what kind of terrain it's going to be, you might end up wearing something that's going to hurt you. So if it's a flat trail, you could probably wear simple sneakers, things like that. But what happens when you're hiking and you're going up a really rocky trail? You're going to want hiking boots, and specific hiking boots, because in like rocky terrain and stuff like that, you're more likely to get a sprained ankle. And so if you have boots that have a nice, they're high risers, they go up your leg a little bit, they're going to prevent your ankle from rolling. And so then you won't get any sprain, because when your ankle rolls, you're going to get sprains. So you really want really nice shoes to go hiking, especially in our mountains, the Rocky Mountains, because of that, as well as the temperature loves to change. Like look at Rocky Mountain National Park. Some of the areas are nice and they're cool, at least in summer, but when you get to the top of Rocky Mountain National Park, you're actually on top of the mountain, and it's actually Arctic conditions pretty much all year round, if I remember correct. Like it is snow, ice on the street pretty much all the time. So if you are hiking somewhere and you didn't know what the weather or what the conditions are going to be, you're going to end up in a very dangerous situation. So wear layers. If you're in an area, like I know like Utah and stuff, you're probably just going to be expecting really hot weather, really hot, dry weather. Or in like Florida, maybe really hot, humid weather, whatever the case may be. Or whatever your state is like, you'll know your state more than me. But here in Colorado, the weather likes to change so much that we actually tend to wear layers. So like you'll wear a tank top, and then you'll wear a short sleeve, then a long sleeve, then a jacket, if that's kind of what the weather is looking like. You might not need to wear all those layers. You'll also want to make sure that you have pants. You probably don't want to go hiking in shorts. I know that it might be cooler to do that, but it's leaving your legs open to a lot of nature, and not just nature, but animals and things like that. So it is best to wear pants, but if it is really, really hot and you know the area pretty well and you know the animal life really well, if you want to risk wearing shorts, then that's up to you. But just saying, here in Colorado, we have snakes. And there have been multiple stories of people walking around in shorts and they end up getting bit by a snake because they were not covered. And then there are people who go camping and the snakes get in their shoes or spiders or whatever the case may be. So just know your area, know where you're going, know what kind of life you're going to find there, know what you're going to be getting into, so that way you do not get hurt.
Cool.
Do not make me sit here for that long and then say, cool.